Now, back to my big question at the start of the show, whither our population growth? The latest projections by the United Nations suggest that the world's population could grow to around 8.5 billion in 2030 and 9.7 billion in 2050. Africa overtook Asia in 2020 to become the main source of population growth. The UN actually reports that more than half of the projected increase up to 2050 will be concentrated in just 8 countries, mostly in Africa, with the rapid growth threatening their development goals. By mid-century, Nigeria is projected to be as populous as the US, closing the current 120 million gap between those countries. And Nigeria will also lead the growth in Africa between 9 and the 2080s. Sounds funny to say that, when 2.4 billion people are expected to be added to the world's population. As at today, according to UN data, Nigeria's population stands at 216 million. Now, this has some important implications. The UN has said Nigeria is not on track to reach many of its sustainable development goals by 2030. Sustained rapid population growth adds to the challenge of achieving social and economic development and magnifies the scale of the investments and efforts required to ensure that no one is left behind. Rapidly growing population necessitates large investments in social infrastructure and diverts resources from directly productive assets. Due to the scarcity of resources, it is not possible to provide educational, health, medical, transport, and housing facilities to the entire population. Now, with this trend, it becomes difficult to manage the adjustments that accompany economic and social change. As populations increase, per capita available incomes decline. People are required to feed more children with the same income, and it means more expenditure on consumption and a further fall in the already low savings and consequently in the level of investment. A rapidly growing population does lower income savings and investments, compelling people to use low-level technologies, which further retards capital formation. Now, to end poverty and hunger and achieve the SDGs related to health, education, and access to decent work, and to build the capacity to address environmental challenges, the Nigerian economy needs to grow much more rapidly than its population, requiring greatly expanded investments in infrastructure, as well as increased access to affordable energy and modern technology. A strong, large, and productive workforce fueled by a population boom is not a bad thing in itself, but the path towards a more sustainable future requires demographic foresight, which involves anticipating the nature and consequences of major population shifts before and while they occur, and adopting forward-looking and proactive planning guided by such analysis. You've been watching Business Week here on Arise News. I'm Rolake Akinkugbe Filani. Tweet at me, and I'll see you next time.